as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? Seriously, it's the fight that nobody expected, but suddenly everyone can't stop talking about. But what happens when one of the most brilliant boxing minds, Floyd Mayweather, steps in to give his 2 cents on this bizarre yet entertaining matchup? Oh, you already know. It's about to get real when the 50-Neuro champ breaks down the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight.
Punched in the mouth. Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle.
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
In a recent interview, Floyd Mayweather opened up about the upcoming fight. Now, the hype for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is off the charts, and Floyd is giving credit where it's due. Love him or hate him, if there's one thing Jake Paul knows how to do, it's sell a fight, and he's been relentlessly promoting this one from day one. From jaw-dropping social media posts to intense face-offs, Jake's been making sure the world doesn't miss a beat. Floyd acknowledged that hustle, saying, "Jake knows how to get people talking, and that's important in this game." He's right. Whether you're here to watch Jake get KO'd or to see if he can pull off a shocker, you're definitely watching. And let's be real, this fight has every ingredient to keep the internet buzzing. Massive personalities, a legendary icon, and a rising star who loves stirring the pot. Floyd appreciates that Jake's bringing new eyes to the sport, but he's also aware that all this hype comes with serious pressure. Jake's good at getting the hype going, but now he's got to deliver in the ring. Floyd added,
Mike Tyson.
Let's get ready to rumble! Yes! Yes! Let's get it on! So what you want
This ain't
now?
gonna last
So what you
long.
want
Y'all know
now?
how Tyson
So what
do
you
it.
want now?
Now, let's get one thing straight. Money Mayweather doesn't see Jake Paul as a fighter in the big leagues. Nope, not even close. Floyd respects Jake's hustle, but he's made it clear that Jake hasn't earned a seat at the table with the true boxing elites yet. In fact, Floyd straight up called Jake a novice at best. Harsh? Maybe. But when you're talking about someone like Mayweather, who's undefeated and has been fighting the best of the best for decades, his standards are sky high.
Ever since I moved up to the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury been real quiet. Tyson Fury, where the pussy?
Floyd even said in his recent interview, Jake hasn't proven himself against real competition. He's been fighting retired MMA guys and people outside of boxing. That's not how you get to the top of the sport. And let's be honest, he's got a point. Jake might have some wins under his belt, but they've been against opponents who aren't exactly known for their boxing skills. The big leagues? That's a whole different ball game. Floyd's essentially saying that Jake's got a lot more to prove if he wants to be taken seriously by boxing legends and the hardcore fight community. But will Jake rise to the occasion, or will his status as a novice hold him back? Floyd isn't convinced yet, and he's not afraid to say it.
You know, people gonna have good things to say, people gonna have bad things to say. But I just really believe that, I brought a lot to the sport of boxing.
When it comes to pure skill, let's be real. Jake Paul is definitely not the best fighter on the roster, and Floyd Mayweather knows it all too well. That's exactly why you won't see Floyd stepping into the ring with Jake anytime soon. There's literally nothing to prove.
Fight Jake Paul in the future.
Jake Paul got problems right here, So, he's doing good for what he's doing. Like I said, for what he's doing. It is what it is. It's just a lot of talk. It's different when you're at the highest level. And Roy Jones can contest to that. Clarissa and so many other fighters. Once you get in there with a real fighter that can really fight, it's gonna be over.
Right.
So he got to be able to enjoy it while he can. Is he doing good? Absolutely. For who he's fighting, guys 50, guys 40, of course. Do he want to fight me? Of course. I'm almost 50 years old, so of course he want to fight me.
Floyd sees right through the hype, and as much as Jake's a marketing genius, the technical side of his boxing, well, it's average at best. Let's break it down. Jake's got some power in that right hand, sure, but it's not like he's got the kind of knockout power you see from real elite fighters. His power is decent, but it's not the kind that's going to keep a seasoned pro like Tyson or Mayweather on their toes. Floyd even mentioned how Jake's punches don't come from the hips like pros would. They're more upper body based, meaning Jake's not using his full potential when it comes to generating knockout level force.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And let's not forget about the footwork. If you've watched Jake's fights closely, you'll notice he's still flat-footed in a lot of his movements. He's not exactly dancing around the ring like Muhammad Ali, or even showing the slick defensive skills that Floyd perfected. Mayweather himself pointed out that Jake's footwork is a big flaw. He said, "Jake doesn't move like a boxer. He moves like someone who's still learning the basics." Ouch. Footwork is everything in boxing, especially at the higher levels. If you can't position yourself properly, you leave yourself open to counters. And that's dangerous when you're up against someone like Tyson, who knows how to capitalize on those openings.
Psych! You really thought I was partying? We out here, high altitude, Colorado Springs, with the Olympians Team USA Boxing. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm coming for you, Mike.
Jake's defense? Let's just say it's not the most polished. He's decent at blocking punches, but he relies a lot on just stepping back to avoid shots, which isn't going to cut it when you're up against someone who knows how to close the distance quickly. Guys like Tyson, or even Mayweather if he ever considered fighting Jake, would eat him alive if he kept pulling straight back instead of angling out or slipping punches. Get this, Jake's got heart, and he's definitely worked hard to get to where he is. But when it comes to actual boxing skill, he's still got a long way to go. And Floyd knows it. That's exactly why a fight with Jake Paul just isn't worth his time. On the other hand, Floyd Mayweather knows that Mike Tyson is a legend, and that's not something to mess with lightly.
Well, I commend Tyson because he's one of the guys that paved the way for me to be where I'm at. You know, he's a legendary champion. And the only thing I have to say about Mike Tyson is everyone is always trying to judge Mike Tyson. He lived his life the way he wanted to live his life. No one can say what they would have done if they were in his shoes. Boxing will live on.
Sure, Floyd and Tyson have had their little rivalry over the years, but even Mayweather has nothing but respect for Mike's legacy in the fight game. When Floyd talks about Mike Tyson, he's not just talking about some retired boxer. He's talking about a guy who dominated the sport during his prime and left a mark that no one's forgotten.
Mike Tyson, and I seen it myself with my own eyes. When I seen that Bentley at the boxing gym, and I seen that diamond Rolex, I said, I want that. And I knew what it took. So I know when my opponent is asleep, I'm out there at 4 or 5 in the morning, chopping trees, working, to this day. Because I can retire today. I'm well off, very comfortable. But I got the will to win.
Let's be real. Every name in the fight world knows that Tyson isn't the kind of athlete you just casually step into the ring with, especially if you're a novice like Jake Paul.
Beat Larry Holmes. I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody with him.
Even someone as big and bad as Tyson Fury would think twice before taking up a fight against Mike. And Tyson Fury is like literally the former heavyweight champion of the world.
Your dad's favorite fighter was Mike Tyson. How do you think you was better versus Mike Tyson? Prime versus prime?
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson had knocked me out in about 30 seconds.
Why
Wilder said dreamer. I'm going to punish him for even saying that. The great Mike Tyson.
All you stupid bitches bothering me. What the fuck is committee? I'm the president. I got no motherfucker you.
So when Floyd hears that Jake, a guy with just a handful of pro fights under his belt, is squaring up against Tyson, he's shocked. And can you blame him? Jake took this fight for the big payday and his sweet time in the spotlight, no doubt. But it's starting to feel like he might have bitten off way more than he can chew. Floyd knows the reality. This isn't just another YouTube boxing event. Jake's about to step in the ring with one of the most feared fighters in history. And let's be honest, he's about to regret this real soon. Tyson's skills are on another level, and Jake Paul simply can't compare. We're talking about a guy who became the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old. Mike's got devastating power. And I'm not just talking about knockouts, we're talking about his precision and the way he stalks his opponents in the ring.
Yes, sir, that's the one.
Tyson's signature peekaboo style, where he bobs and weaves through punches while closing the distance, is still one of the most dangerous tactics in boxing. Jake Paul, he doesn't have the skills to deal with that kind of pressure. Jake's footwork and defensive skills just aren't on Tyson's level, not even close. Tyson knows how to cut off the ring, trap his opponent, and unleash a flurry of punches that can end a fight in seconds. Jake's never had to deal with that kind of relentless aggression before.
Follow me, tell me if you feel me. Losing niggas trying to kill.
Let's not forget Tyson's ring IQ. People often overlook how smart Mike is as a fighter. Sure, everyone talks about his knockout power, but Tyson's ability to read his opponents, set traps, and anticipate their moves is what really made him a champion. He doesn't just throw wild punches. There's a strategy behind everything he does in the ring. Compare that to Jake Paul, who's still learning the basics of the sport. Jake's strategy has mostly been about relying on his size and power to overwhelm his opponents. But against a fighter like Tyson, that's not going to work. Tyson's fought bigger, stronger guys before, and he's taken them out with ease because of his superior technique and fight IQ. Floyd knows all of this, and that's why he's genuinely surprised that Jake would even consider stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson. It's not just about the physical mismatch. It's about the fact that Jake is going up against a living legend who's still got a lot of fight left in him. Tyson may not be in his prime anymore, but he's still a dangerous fighter with more experience than Jake could ever hope to gain.
We're different people. So Floyd likes glam. He's very glamorous, and this is what he liked. And I was very savage. I wasn't that savage, dark, malevolent aura. You know, I was just never the fly, slick black fighter. You know, I was just very serious, and I was just very hard and mean. I didn't like the slickness. It was all about hurting and pain.
This isn't just some exhibition match where Jake can coast by on his hype and YouTube fame. This is a real fight against one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. So, while Jake might think this fight is his golden ticket to another massive payday and even more fame, Floyd and everyone else in the boxing world know the truth. Jake's in way over his head. Tyson's a different breed, and Jake's about to find out the hard way what it means to face a true legend. Floyd knows that when you step into the ring with Mike Tyson, you're playing with fire. And Jake, well, he's about to get burned. Floyd Mayweather has made it crystal clear. The proof is in Jake Paul's resume. And honestly, he's not wrong. Floyd didn't hold back when he talked about some of the opponents Jake has fought. And let's be real, none of them come anywhere close to the level of Mike Tyson. It's one thing to win fights, but it's a whole different ballgame when your opponents aren't exactly world-class boxers. Jake's rise has been more about picking the right fights at the right time than facing off against top-tier talent, and Floyd isn't letting that slide. Let's rewind to Jake's first fight against another YouTuber, Anison Gibb. Sure, it was entertaining, and Jake came out on top with a first-round knockout, but let's not kid ourselves. Gibb wasn't a boxer. He had zero professional experience in the ring, and the fight was more of a spectacle than a legitimate test of Jake's skills. It was a perfect way for Jake to kick off his boxing career. But did it prove he was ready for the big leagues? Not even close. Fast forward to Jake's more recent fight against Tommy Fury. Now, Tommy is the first actual boxer Jake faced, and this fight gave us a real glimpse of where Jake stands in the boxing world. Tommy may not be a world champion, but he's a trained boxer with actual experience in the sport, unlike Jake's previous opponents. And guess what? Jake lost.
Tommy Fury, this is at the start of the round. It's a fairly even round, isn't it? Because the way Jake Paul came back and had a good spurt towards the end, that would have caught the judge's eye.
He couldn't handle Tommy's boxing fundamentals, footwork, or conditioning. Tommy wasn't even the biggest name out there, and Jake struggled to keep up, eventually losing by a decision. Floyd pointed this out, saying, "If you can't beat someone like Tommy Fury, how are you going to survive in the ring with Mike Tyson?" It's a fair question because Tommy, as skilled as he is, isn't on Mike Tyson's level. Not even close. Jake's resume might look flashy on paper, but when you dig deeper, it's obvious that none of his previous opponents compare to Mike Tyson. Floyd believes that's going to be Jake's downfall. He's been building his career on carefully selected fights against guys who aren't true boxers. And now he's walking straight into the lion's den with one of the most dangerous fighters of all time. Floyd sees this for what it is, a massive mismatch. Beyond just Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, this fight has a bigger impact on the boxing world. Mayweather touched on something key. Fights like this bring attention to the sport, and that's a good thing. But it also puts pressure on the younger generation of fighters to step up. You can't let a YouTuber and a retired legend outshine you.
Is the real deal experience. Oh my God, Jake Paul, the kids love him. And then you have the legend Mike Tyson.
I got Jake Paul knocking him out.
So there you have it. Floyd Mayweather just broke down what could be one of the craziest matchups in boxing history. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Do you agree with Floyd's take? Will Jake surprise everyone? Or is Tyson going to do what he's always done? Destroy his opponents? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic boxing breakdowns. This one's going to be wild, and we can't wait to see what happens next.